Kelly, we have now made it to the 1 month mark. After the 1 month, what should a loved one do?
So we're going to want to look at utilities. So like you just talked about cell phone, cable TV, any kind of bills or home services, you're going to want to change those names. Consider also your vehicle registration. Does that need to be updated? Does that need to be changed? So contact your local DMV, and you're going to want to prepare, and this is where your financial planner comes into play, prepare a net worth statement and make a list of your, do you have new income now? Maybe it's less income now, and what your expenses are to be able to put together a realistic budget. See an attorney about updating your own will, and review old records and files, including, I would say, at least 13 months. So go a little bit beyond a year of canceled checks for any clues to any additional assets, benefits, or any obligations to make sure you're not missing anything. If you travel, so you could contact the airlines to apply for transfer of frequent flyer miles to that primary beneficiary, unless it was assigned in the will. But typically, I haven't heard too many people doing that in the will. So you're going to want to contact the airlines as well.
Kelly, congratulations. You inherited my points.
I think family members would enjoy that. Yeah. Being able to take a trip. Yeah.
I mean, when I saw your notes on this, I was like, wow, that is brilliant. Like I would have never thought about that, but it is an asset, right?
Yeah, it is.
At the end of the day.
Which I don't know if you knew this, but even while living, you can gift points to a loved one. We've actually experienced that in our family. So that's a cool thing that you can do.
The only reason I know just a little bit about that is because my wife and I, we've adopted 3 kiddos internationally.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people in that international adoptive network. And there have been people that we've known who have been gifted points for their flights, which is a fantastic benefit when you're talking about international travel.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool opportunity.
And you don't want those points to just die with you. I mean, I wonder what the percentage of it is. I would wager to say that the vast majority of points, die when the decedent passes away.
Oh, agree. I would think it's at least 80%.
I would think so as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a betting person. I'm pretty risk averse, but I'm betting high.
I don't bet, but if I did bet, that would be one I might be willing to bet, put $1 on.
That's right. That's right, Nick. All right. So we've made it past a month and maybe even a second month. So what should people do after the 3rd month, Nick, when a loved one dies?
This is a great question. I think you're starting to probably get a little bit of a better understanding of what your expenses are going to look like. So create a monthly budget for yourself. And the one thing that, especially with the death of a spouse, they don't really consider is the drastic either income change that they might have, or the tax rate change that they might have. So if your income stays relatively the same, so maybe your spouse had a survivorship pension, or they were the kind of the bread earner and you were able to keep the larger Social Security and you lost your own, the odds are is that your tax rate goes up because there is a little bit of a widow's tax for the surviving spouse. The other end of that spectrum could be your income takes a dramatic drop, which also causes some additional tax planning. So kind of at this, 3 months after the death of a loved one, your tax advisor or your tax advisor coordinating with your financial planner are going to be like your new best friends. Because most people have some sort of tax change one way or the other after the death of a loved one.
Yeah, really, really good point, Nick. What about after the 6th month? What are things to consider?
Yeah, I think you begin planning for your financial future by just reviewing your balance sheet, your assets and your liability, research changes in investments, that you may want to make. These are things that you're starting to think about at the 6-month mark that are probably, still too soon to make big decisions on, but this is just really in formulating the plan and evaluating your current circumstances.
Okay. Speaking of big decisions, what kind of big decisions should people wait on, Nick? Even wait a year to make after the death of a loved one?
Well, I'm going to give you another acronym, Kelly. I call it the 4 M's.
Okay.
Not like 3M, the company in Minnesota, but this is 4. Okay. So number 1, mortgage. You want to wait a year on figuring out if you want to pay the mortgage off or not.
Okay.
And that relates directly to the 2nd M, which is moving. There's a lot of decisions about housing, right, that happen in that first year that you're thinking about. I don't want to be in the same house, or I want to move closer to the kids. Wait on mortgage and moving. Number 3, wait a year on making investments. And number 4, wait a year on getting remarried. Marriage, wait at least a year. Give yourself 366 days to figure that one out. Don't make any rash decisions.
Right. Don't rush into that.